Are you looking back at expanding into flights or further into hotels and trying to become more of a full service provider like a Bookings or an Expedia and capture more of that wallet share of your travelers?
Yeah, Emily, what I would say is never say never. Nothing that we paused is off the table to restart once again and go really big.
$11 billion. That's what Airbnb generated in 2024. Not gross bookings, not platform volume. Revenue. $11 billion flowing directly into the company, growing every single year without interruption, without apology. Now here's the number the company hides from you. $14,000. That's what the average American Airbnb host took home in 2023. Not profit, income. Before the mortgage, before the cleaning bills, before insurance, maintenance, and the 3% fee Airbnb quietly takes from every single booking on top of what it already charges your guest. $14,000. For a year of answering messages at midnight, coordinating cleaners, managing broken appliances, absorbing bad reviews, and carrying the full financial risk of a property you own, that Airbnb doesn't. One company, 11 billion, 5 million hosts, $14,000 each.
I lost $1,100 that month on Airbnb.
It's the end of an era, and it feels like a small part of me is dying today. I am selling my Airbnb portfolio.
2 years ago, I bought a house in Palm Springs and renovated it, and last January, I put it on Airbnb. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, you guys. We lost money. It's not looking good.
And it gets worse. In cities like Phoenix and Austin, host revenues didn't just stagnate, they collapsed. Down 40–50% in some markets, virtually overnight. Reddit threads filled up with the same sentence: I'm losing money, I'm done. Hosts who remortgaged to buy investment properties. Hosts who quit their jobs to run short-term rentals full-time. Hosts who believed, because Airbnb told them to believe, that their home was a business waiting to happen.
Guys, when you stay at an Airbnb, your cleaning fee does not cover things like rearranging the entire house, okay? We as hosts do not have time to do that. And then when we say no pets, don't tell me that a cat is a service animal.
Meanwhile, Airbnb's CEO is personally worth $9 billion. 3 founders, 9-figure fortunes, while 5 million hosts carry the weight every single day. So how does a company whose revenue depends entirely on other people's properties, other people's labor, and other people's risk keep getting richer, while the people doing all of that go broke? Let's go back to the beginning. Because to understand how we got here, you need to understand what Airbnb actually sold the world.
If you want to Airbnb your place, but you're worried that something might happen to the stuff that's in your place, we've got your back.
It wasn't just a platform for renting spare rooms. It was an idea, a story. The story went like this. Your home is an asset sitting idle. Put it to work. Become your own business. The sharing economy, that was the phrase, would let ordinary people do what only wealthy landlords and hoteliers could do before. Make money while they sleep. That story was intoxicating. And in the beginning, it was true. The early hosts, people who listed a spare bedroom or rented out their flat during holidays, genuinely made good money. Demand was fresh, competition was thin, and travelers were hungry for something that felt more real than a hotel corridor. Airbnb grew from a startup to a cultural movement. By 2019, before the world stopped traveling, the company was pulling in almost $5 billion in revenue annually. Then COVID hit. The wheels came off. Bookings cratered. Airbnb laid off a quarter of its workforce. Brian Chesky, the co-founder and CEO, called it one of the most painful decisions of his life.
We started the company over a decade ago, and I thought that was the craziest experience of my professional life. And for many years, I said, I'll probably never experience something as crazy as starting Airbnb. And in March, I think we experienced that. We spent 12 years building our business, and within 6 weeks, lost about 80% of it.
Fortunately, the company recovered faster than almost anyone predicted, and it recovered bigger. By 2021, revenue was nearly $6 billion. By 2022, over $8 billion. By 2024, $11.1 billion, growing more than 130% in 5 years. So why, right in the middle of that extraordinary run, did hosts start flooding Reddit, Facebook groups, and comment sections with the same story? I'm losing money. I'm done. The answer starts with one word: everyone. When Airbnb's growth story went mainstream, millions of people did exactly what the platform encouraged. They listed. An investor bought a condo and put it on Airbnb. A homeowner remortgaged to buy a second property and put it on Airbnb. A couple converted their basement and put it on Airbnb. Then their neighbor did the same thing. Then the whole street. Then the whole city. The USA alone had roughly 2.25 million listings by 2021. What was once a novelty, a local, personal, different alternative to hotels, had become a commodity. And when everything is available everywhere, the first casualty is price. As one analyst put it bluntly, quote, "The gold rush is over. The days of guaranteed easy money from Airbnb are behind us." But nobody told the 5 million hosts who were already in too deep to get out. Here's what I want you to hold on to as we go deeper. Airbnb's business model doesn't require a single host to be profitable. The platform takes its cut, a fee from every booking, whether you made money or lost it, whether your calendar was full or empty, whether you paid your mortgage or didn't. The company wins either way. The question is, did anyone warn the hosts? Picture this. You bought a second property in 2021. The market was hot, mortgage rates were still low, and every Airbnb guru on YouTube was showing you their earnings dashboard. $12,000 a month. Basically pays itself, they said. So you did the math on a napkin. Mortgage, $2,000 a month. Cleaning, utilities, a property manager, maybe another $800. At 3 nights a week, you're in profit. Easy. What that napkin didn't show you, what nobody was putting in their YouTube thumbnails, was what happened when 40 other people in your city did the exact same math, at the exact same time. Suddenly, you're not getting 3 nights a week. You're fighting for one. And that one night, your neighbor is undercutting you by $30, because they need to cover their mortgage too. This is how a market saturates. And in city after city, Phoenix, Austin, Nashville, Orlando, and dozens more across the UK and Australia, it happened fast. In Phoenix, the number of Airbnb listings exploded from 5,000 in 2017 to over 21,000 by 2025. Same city, same tourists, 4 times the competition. Real estate analyst Nicholas Gurley put numbers to what hosts were feeling in their bank accounts. Quote, "Revenue has dropped nearly 50% in cities like Phoenix and Austin. We're looking at a potential wave of forced selling." Forced selling. That means people losing properties they bought to make money, because they can't make enough money to keep them. But the oversaturation story is only half of it. The other half is the hidden cost trap that Airbnb's Dream Factory never advertised. Running an Airbnb isn't passive income. It never really was. It's a hospitality business. Without the corporate infrastructure, the trained staff, the bulk supply deals, or the marketing machine. You're the cleaner, the concierge, the maintenance crew, and the customer service department. Often at midnight, often for a guest leaving a 3-star review because the Wi-Fi had a hiccup. And then there are the fees. A 2022 analysis of 1,000 US Airbnb listings found the median cleaning fee per one-night stay was $75. Nearly 40% of listings were charging cleaning fees that ate up 20 to 30% of the total booking price. Guests started noticing. Then they started booking elsewhere, or not at all. Then the occupancy rate fell. Then the revenue fell. And the mortgage didn't. Here's where it gets darker. Airbnb also charges hosts a commission, roughly 3% of every booking. That sounds small. It isn't when your margins are already razor thin and your occupancy has dropped 20 points. Meanwhile, Airbnb was extracting fees from both sides, guests and hosts, on every single transaction. When bookings slowed and revenue dried up, many hosts assumed it was temporary, a post-COVID hangover, a slow season. It would bounce back. It didn't, or at least not for them. What bounced back, spectacularly, was Airbnb. While hosts in oversaturated markets watched their revenue per available listing fall, and while entire Reddit communities swelled with people comparing their losses, Airbnb, the company, reported record after record. $11.1 billion in 2024. $12.2 billion in 2025. Gross bookings of nearly $82 billion in a single year. How? Because Airbnb's income doesn't come from any one host doing well. It comes from the aggregate of millions of transactions. When the market gets flooded with listings, Airbnb has more inventory to offer guests. More choice drives more bookings. More bookings means more fees collected. This is the story of what happens when a disruptor disrupts, and then becomes the thing it disrupted. Hotels used to be the villain. Expensive, impersonal, extractive. Airbnb was the hero. Democratic, local, human. Then the hero scaled to 8 million listings across 220 countries, hired armies of lobbyists, went public at a $100 billion valuation, and started collecting fees from both sides of every transaction, while the people carrying all the risks slept less, worked more, and made less than the year before. Airbnb's tagline was once, "Belong anywhere." In Barcelona, in New York, in Amsterdam, in every city where housing has become unaffordable and neighbors have become strangers to a revolving door of tourists, the people who actually live there are asking a very different question. Belong anywhere? We can't afford to belong somewhere. The sharing economy promised to democratize wealth. What it built instead was a new layer of extraction, sophisticated, scalable, and legal, sitting between ordinary people and the assets they thought they owned. The gold rush is over. The founders cashed out, and millions of hosts are left holding the mortgage.